Welcome to Biggest Spoilars, the destination for exclusive spoilers, latest updates.
General Hospital spoilers for November 19th reveal that Port Charles is bracing for a dramatic election outgrowth. The votes are in, pressures are rising, and the megacity's political geography may be shifting. Suckers are also watching major character moments, including Emma's outrage and Vaughn's surprise process for Jocelyn. The election plot has dominated recent occurrences, and expectation has erected around whether Laura Collins will remain mayor. Her controversial battle with Professor Dalton continues to spark debate. These new developments set the stage for a tense and changeable episode. Election results arrive as Laura faces counter-reaction. The biggest plot centers on the long-awaited election results. Laura Collins has held the mayor's office through turbulent times, but her leadership is now under scrutiny. The blurted footage of her sliding Professor Dalton has shifted public perception and fueled her opponent Ezra Boyle's momentum. General Hospital spoilers indicate that the results eventually come in on November 19th. While Laura still has a pious base, indeed some abettors believe the incident may damage her chances. As with numerous political stories in Port Charles, the outgrowth may not follow prospects. ABC's long-running Cleaner has a character for dramatic twists, and election night is poised to deliver one. Trusted outlets similar as ABC News and Associated Press have covered analogous election-driven stories and entertainment content, pressing how political bends reflect bystander interest in real-world query. This adds weight to the stakes girding Laura's future in office. Away, Alexis begins executing a new legal strategy involving Jason. She updates him with a plan that could determine whether Danny and Charlotte can help save Rocco. Jason remains doubtful if the idea can work, but the urgency girding the situation pushes them forward. Meanwhile, Emma reaches a breaking point as new exposures set her off. Vaughn suddenly processes Jocelyn, raising questions about his motives and what he wants to bandy. Nathan, compassionate as ever, offers Lulu support as she navigates particular stress. These moments consolidate ongoing stories and punctuate the emotional weight of the episode. Character pressure builds across Port Charles. Wednesday's occasion captures the emotional chaos sweeping the city. Emma's wrathfulness signals new complications ahead. Jocelyn being called in by Vaughn suggests an implicit turning point in her plot. And Lulu's emotional moment with Nathan continues to transfer instigation into long-term bends. The very air in Port Charles seems to crackle with a palpable, electric tension, a city collectively holding its breath as it stands on the precipice of profound and irrevocable change. The long, grueling, and often deeply personal political battle for the soul of the city has reached its zenith. The votes are cast, sealed, and counted, their silent verdict ready to be unleashed upon a community already frayed at the edges. The familiar rhythms of life, the comings and goings at the Metro Court, the hushed conspiracies in the dimly lit corners of Charlie's pub, the frantic life-saving efforts within the sterile walls of General Hospital, are all momentarily suspended, overshadowed by the impending announcement that will redefine the town's power structure. This is not merely an administrative shift, it is a potential tectonic plate movement in the landscape of Port Charles, one that promises to send shockwaves through every family, alliance, and feud. The upcoming episode, airing on November 19th, is masterfully engineered to be a crucible of emotion, where the political and the personal collide with explosive force. At the heart of the maelstrom is Mayor Laura Collins, a woman whose very name is synonymous with the city's resilience, now facing the potential collapse of her political career. Simultaneously, the ripples of the election outcome touch every corner of the canvas, igniting Emma Drake's righteous fury, placing Jocelyn Jacks in a precarious and mysterious confrontation, and testing the legal ingenuity of Alexis Davis to its absolute limit. As Nathan West offers a steadying hand to a struggling Lulu Spencer, the episode weaves a complex tapestry of high-stakes drama, reminding viewers that in Port Charles, a single day can alter destinies forever. The people's verdict, a mayoral legacy hangs in the balance. The central, all-consuming narrative thrust of the episode is, without question, the culmination of the bitterly contested mayoral election. For years, Laura Collins has served as Port Charles's moral compass, a figure of grace under fire who has steered the city through unimaginable crises, from Cassadine weather machines to mob wars that spilled blood onto its streets. Her tenure has been less about political power and more about maternal stewardship. She views Port Charles as an extended family, one that requires compassion, strength, and an unwavering commitment to justice. However, no leader, no matter how beloved, is immune to the fickle tides of public opinion, and Laura now finds herself battling for her political life. The turning point, the single moment that may have irrevocably tipped the scales, was not a policy failure or a financial scandal, but a profoundly human lapse in judgment. The leaked cell phone footage of Laura slapping Professor Bernard Dalton, while rooted in a fierce, maternal protectiveness over her grandson Rocco, has been weaponized against her. In the harsh, unforgiving court of public opinion, a complex emotional response was stripped of its context and edited down to a damning soundbite: the mayor of Port Charles committing an act of violence. Her opponent, the ambitious and cunning Ezra Boyle, has proven to be a master political opportunist. He has not merely criticized Laura's action, he has systematically framed it as a symbol of an entitled, out-of-touch administration that believes itself to be above the law it is sworn to uphold. Spoilers for November 19 confirm that the results will be announced, plunging the city into immediate reaction. The writing, however, suggests a far from clear-cut victory. While Laura retains a deeply loyal base of support, citizens who remember her decades of service and understand the protective fury that motivated her actions, even her closest allies are plagued with doubt. Scott Baldwin, her campaign manager, likely spends the hours before the announcement sweating bullets. His usual bluster muted by the grim reality of modern political optics. He knows that in an age of viral videos, truth is often the first casualty. The Collins family, including her son Lucky and her brother-in-law Kevin, will be a portrait of nervous anticipation, their support for Laura unwavering but tinged with the fear of her very public humiliation. The genius of General Hospital's storytelling here lies in its reflection of real-world political anxiety. As covered by trusted outlets like ABC News and the Associated Press in their entertainment analyses, television audiences are increasingly drawn to political storylines that mirror the uncertainty and high drama of their own electoral processes. This arc taps directly into that cultural nerve, transforming a local mayoral race into an epic narrative about legacy, redemption, and the consequences of a single moment captured on camera. The show has a well-earned reputation for delivering stunning, last-minute twists, and this election is ripe for one. Could a last-minute endorsement from a surprising ally sway undecided voters? Could a new revelation about Ezra Boyle's own past emerge from the shadows? The outcome is poised to be anything but predictable, ensuring that Port Charles will be talking about this night for years to come. Courtroom Gambits, Alexis Davis's high-risk, high-reward strategy. While the political future of the city is decided in the public square, a different, more intimate kind of battle is being waged in the legal arena. Alexis Davis, once a formidable attorney now navigating her path back to sobriety and professional credibility, finds herself at the center of a heartbreaking custody crisis. The well-being of 3 children, Danny, Charlotte, and Rocco, is at stake, their young lives caught in a complex web of adult decisions and biological entanglements. The pressure on Alexis is immense. This is more than a case, it is a test of her own recovery and her ability to fight for what is right. Spoilers indicate that Alexis devises a new, and likely unorthodox, legal strategy that directly involves the enigmatic Jason Morgan. In a series of tense, hushed conversations, she updates the former enforcer on her plan. The specifics remain under wraps, but the objective is clear: to legally position Danny and Charlotte in a way that could positively influence the custody situation for Rocco. This is a perilous legal tightrope. Jason, a man of action who operates in a world of clear-cut threats and solutions, is portrayed as deeply skeptical. His trust is hard-won, and his primary concern is always the safety and stability of the children. He will grill Alexis, his questions sharp and direct: is this legally sound? What are the potential repercussions if it backfires? How does it protect the children from further emotional trauma? The urgency of the situation is the engine driving them forward. Every day the custody battle drags on is another day of instability for the children. Alexis, drawing upon every ounce of her legal acumen and her own hard-won maternal wisdom, must convince Jason that this gamble is worth taking. Her argument will likely hinge on the unique, intertwined relationships between the children and the power of their collective voice in a family court setting. This storyline serves as a powerful exploration of non-traditional families and the lengths to which adults will go to protect the children they love, even when the path is fraught with legal and emotional risk. The success or failure of Alexis's strategy will have profound consequences, not just for the children, but for her own journey toward reclaiming her identity as a defender of the vulnerable. A breaking point, Emma Drake's outrage erupts. In a narrative that expertly captures the ripple effects of adult conflicts on the younger generation, Emma Drake reaches her absolute breaking point. The daughter of Robin Scorpio and Patrick Drake, Emma possesses a potent combination of her mother's fierce intelligence and her father's passionate heart. She has always been a character of strong moral convictions, and new revelations, the exact nature of which are being carefully guarded by the show's writers, finally push her past her limit. Her outrage is unlikely to be a quiet, internal simmer. This is a firestorm. Viewers can expect powerful, emotionally charged scenes where Emma confronts the source of her anger head-on. Whether this fury is directed at a perceived injustice against a friend, a betrayal by a loved one, or the culmination of the toxic political atmosphere that has engulfed Port Charles, it represents a significant coming-of-age moment. This is the episode where Emma transitions from being a bystander to the town's dramas to an active, vocal participant. Her explosion is not merely teenage angst, it is a righteous indictment of the failings of the world the adults have created. This moment of high emotion is crucial for the show's long-term trajectory. Emma's outburst will undoubtedly create new complications and alliances. It might alienate some while earning the respect of others. It signals that the younger characters are no longer content to exist in the shadow of their parents' scandals and wars. They are ready to form their own opinions, fight their own battles, and shape their own futures. Her rage is a spark, and in the tinder-dry environment of Port Charles, it could easily ignite a much larger fire. An ominous summons, Jocelyn Jacks and the mystery of Vaughn. Adding a layer of palpable intrigue and danger to the episode is the unexpected summons of Jocelyn Jacks by the mysterious Vaughn. The very nature of a summons implies an imbalance of power. This is not a friendly invitation for coffee, but a command performance. Vaughn, a character whose motives and allegiances remain deliberately opaque, represents an unknown variable in Jocelyn's life. His interest in her is immediately suspicious and raises a multitude of alarming questions. What could Vaughn possibly want with Jocelyn? The possibilities are as troubling as they are numerous. Is he acting on behalf of a vengeful enemy of her mother, Carly, or her stepfather, Sonny Corinthos? Does he have a connection to the ongoing campus controversies or the political fallout from the election? Or is his interest more personal, tied to Jocelyn's own relationships and recent choices? The scene is fraught with potential peril. Jocelyn, while resilient and sharp, is still a young woman navigating a world filled with predators. Her decision to answer this summons, likely without informing her notoriously overprotective family, sets the stage for a classic General Hospital cliffhanger. This plot point is a masterclass in building suspense. It taps into the core anxiety of the soap opera genre, the vulnerability of a beloved character being drawn into a shadowy, unknown plot. Vaughn's summons is a narrative hook designed to keep viewers on the edge of their seats, speculating about his endgame and fearing for Jocelyn's safety. It is a promise that the political and personal dramas of the day are about to be complicated by a fresh, external threat. A shoulder to lean on, Nathan's compassion and Lulu's struggle. Amidst the roaring tempests of political upheaval, legal battles, and youthful fury, the episode provides a moment of quiet, poignant humanity in the interaction between Nathan West and Lulu Spencer. Nathan, whose inherent decency and empathy have always been his defining traits, steps in to offer Lulu support as she navigates a period of intense personal stress. Lulu, a woman who has endured more than her share of trauma, is once again facing down demons, both old and new. The source of Lulu's current struggle is deeply intertwined with the other storylines. The custody battle for Rocco is a constant, gnawing source of anguish. The political attacks on her mother, Laura, are a form of secondary trauma. And likely, there are unresolved emotional threads related to her own past and her complex relationship with her father, Luke. Nathan's role here is not that of a knight in shining armor, but of a steadfast friend. He doesn't need to have all the answers, his power lies in his ability to listen, to validate her feelings, and to simply be present. This moment is more than a simple beat of comfort. It deepens the emotional resonance of the entire episode by grounding the high-stakes drama in a relatable, human connection. It reinforces the theme of community and the importance of finding solace in one another during times of crisis. Furthermore, it continues to transfer momentum into the long-term arcs for both characters, strengthening their bond and setting the stage for future collaborations, or perhaps even a deeper romance, as they continue to lean on each other in a chaotic world. A tapestry of tension, the unforgettable day that reshaped Port Charles. The episode airing on November 19th is poised to be a landmark installment in the storied history of General Hospital. It is a chapter where the foundational pillars of the community, government, family, justice, and friendship are all subjected to immense stress. The announcement of the election results will not bring closure, but rather act as a catalyst, creating a new set of winners, losers, and embittered rivals. Laura Collins, whether victorious or defeated, will be forever changed by this brutal campaign. Alexis's legal gambit with Jason will set in motion a chain of events in the courtroom that will have lasting implications for the Quartermaine, Spencer, and Cassadine families. Emma Drake's explosive outrage marks the awakening of a new generation of crusaders, ready to challenge the status quo. Jocelyn's mysterious meeting with Vaughn dangles the promise of a thrilling new mystery, one that could have dangerous consequences for the entire Corinthos Jax clan. And through it all, the quiet compassion of Nathan West reminds us that even in the darkest of times, human connection is the most powerful currency of all. Port Charles is a town forever shaped by its dramatic turns, and this episode, with its perfect storm of political reckoning, emotional eruptions, and ominous threats, promises to be a day that its residents, and the audience, will not soon forget. The ballots have been cast, the summons has been issued, and the outrage can no longer be contained. The only certainty is that after this day, nothing will ever be the same.